So, ich habe jetzt gerade die Aufnahme spontan gestartet, weil direkt als ich jetzt nach Windurst gezont bin, beginnt die Cutscene. Ihr habt bisher nur verpasst, dass ich durchs Tor gegangen bin. Von daher herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Let's Play Final Fantasy XI mit Alweb. Und wir sind schon in einer Unterhaltung mit Thiel. Oh, there you are, Alweb. We were wondering where you'd scampered off to. Didn't you hear? There's a big power at Heaven's Tower, and that crusty old warlord has called for all mercenaries to attend. The boss told us to make sure we didn't forget you. What's that? You're not a cobra, you say? Really? You could have fooled us. Seriously. With as much as you've helped us of late, even the boss thinks you're one of the gang. Besides, Leko and the warlord gave strict orders. They seem to have taken quite an interest in you. And we're off to Heaven's Tower. It seems all are present, so I'll begin at once. It hardly needs to be said that the situation faced by our Federation army, nay, that of the entire Allied forces, is dire. With the defense of Fort Naruga and of Windurst itself, not to mention the recent skirmish at Soromork, our resource and manpower are being stretched to their very limits. The call for backup on the Junon front has also depleted our forces further. No longer do we have the luxury of sitting around to ponder our next move. We must act, and act now. Nor is Windurst alone, our allies too face the self-same plight. It is in these grim times that the Allied forces have decided to cast the die, to embark on the one path that may yet lead us to victory. We strike at the heart of the enemy. We move on Castle Sval. The snow-swept peaks of Valedonia will be the site of our greatest, our final battle. From today, the Federation forces will divide into two hosts. The warlocks under my command will march on the enemy, while the Mithran mercenaries remain behind to defend their homeland. With one exception, Roma and the Cobras, I have chosen you to accompany me north. Understood. Looks like we've been taped off for house-sitting duty again. Boring. And here I thought I'd be able to snag the heads of another beastman channel or two for my collection. Are you truly so naive? With our army divided, the city defenses will be stretched thinner still. The Yaguru are not likely to overlook this. Exactly. You must stay vigilant and be prepared to defend the Federation at the first sign of enemy movement. Of course, Warlord. You can rely on us. The rest of you, We will rendezvous with our allies at Sandoria for a briefing before we embark on the march northward. Ready your belongings and prepare to depart at once. Reporters from Sandoria make no mention of any enemy movement in the north. Is this information to be trusted, or shall we dispatch watch our own scouts? There is no need. If there is action, we can surely count on her to let us know. I see. So Thatcheru was our plan in ordering the Leonian war warlock to stay posted up north? The next move belongs to the Confederate, but how will they play? Can we truly succeed without calling upon him? Tell me, you paid a recent visit to the Sandoria, did you not? I'll be counting on you two to lead the way. Yes, sir. Boss, sir. We've got it covered, right, Mill? Leave it to me. I know those streets like the back of my paw. Looks like we are off to Sandoria together again, eh, Elweb? Who'd have thunk it? Tee-hee! I mean, it's not every day that a Mithra like me gets to bond with someone from your part of the world, right? Traveling to far-off lands, good friends at your side. I shouldn't say it, but at a time like this I almost feel like this war isn't all bad, you know? Are you mercenaries or little kittens around a picnic? Enough with the vapid prattle. Elweb, you heard the warlord. We'll be waiting for you in Sandoria. Okay, na dann geht's doch auch gleich nach Sandoria. Ho there! Elweb from fair Windurst, are you not? Well met. No doubt your legs are weary from the road, but I have orders to escort you to the castle at once. All parties have assembled, and there is much that needs to be discussed. As has been confirmed by the kingdom's elite scouts, Elweb, I was wondering when you'd show up. Quickly over here. The meeting's already begun. And who may this lady be? An ally of Windurst. Pardon the interruption. Please continue. The steadily looking fellow doing all the talking is Veneral R. Davilis, captain of the Sandorian Royal Guards. He's briefing all officers on the tactical situation as it currently stands. Hosts from each of the three beast nation, Orc, Quadav and Yagudor, are mobilizing in the north even as we speak. We have every reason to believe that they do so at the behest of the Shadow Lord himself. The Confederate is divided their forces between the Tefnasian and Valadonian fronts. Both are missing resources and manpower, girding themselves for a full-scale offensive on our lands. Any further delay will mean our certain destruction. Thusly, we move at once. We march on Valadonia and commence the siege of Castle Sval forthwith. Our first objective will be to establish position in Sakabad and Bosedine Glacier. From there we will surround Castle Sval and strike at the heart of our foe. Commanders, ready your troops for the battle of their lives. We leave for Valadonia on the morrow. A detailed briefing will be held upon our arrival. In closing, a word to all of you. I stand here and see before Windurstians, Bestokans and Sandorians. I see men and women who, in days past, might once have crossed swords as enemies. To see you today, united under one banner for the glory of the goddess, fills me with pride such as I have never known. The battle will be arduous, the enemy unyielding, but with your courage and valor, Altana's children will live to see a brighter day. Dismissed. Warlock? Sir? Warlord, sir? An urgent transmission has just come in from the Lenoian Warlocks. Please, take your wake here, listen. Mastercaster Doron Fulon of the Leonian Warlocks reporting. Warlord, sir. I have grave news. This is Robel Akbel. Speak. Our scouts just returned from Castle Sval and... What are you doing? Let go of me. No! Have we lost him? Sieht so aus. Whoa ho 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 ho! Be quiet for a spell and listen good and well. That voice. As you march unwittingly toward the Shadow Lord's front door, the enemy has stealthily prepared another secret corps. What's more, the Second Army has been set in motion, and a direct assault on Windurst would appear to be their notion. 10,000 or more by my rough count, no matter how you slice it, a formidable amount. What? It might have handled them on my own. I might have handled them on my own, if I weren't stuck here with your hapless warlocks to chaperone. Robel Akbel, amend your plans on the double, or watch as the Federation is reduced to so much rubble. Your report is appreciated, Professor. That was exactly the information I needed to plot the necessary countermeasures. The Allied forces will proceed for Valedonia as scheduled. You and the Leonian are to join us there. Yes, I suppose I can do as you say, though I'll trust you not to get in my way. Yo-ho-ho-ho! And so it begins. Leko, send words to the Federation at once. Their numbers exceed our estimates. You are to take command of the Cobras and stave the enemy off at Karugo Narugo. Understood. My esteemed Robel Akbel, whatever is the commotion? Excuse me, excuse my discourtesy, Lord Voleneral. It appears that the Federation will have some unexpected guests. I've ordered Leko and the Cobra mercenaries back to the fort. Guests, you say? I see. Once you've regaled them properly, make haste to join us in the north. The battle will not be won without your aid. Yes, my lord. Well, Roma, Elvip, you heard the Warlock. We'd best head back to make preparations for the banquet. But before that, well, it would be the height of rudeness to show up at the party empty-handed, don't you think? What say we bring back a present to liven up the festivities at Tat? For a present, you say? Don't worry, I have just the thing in mind. A few hours ago, on the way to the briefing, I came across an Allied supply caravan transporting a stockpile of arms. A quick peek inside the wagon turned up some items of particular interest. Darkfire cinders and full light stones. I figure they wouldn't miss a few of them. What do you think? You're not suggesting that we steal from the island arsenal? Steal? Hardly. As full-fledged members of the Allied forces, we have as much right to these supplies as anyone. Why leave them to collect dust in an armory somewhere when we could put them to so much better use, no? I'm not sure about this one. Come on, have I ever led you astray? Trust me, I have a plan. Remember our recent skirmish? It was that magic-resistant armor the beastmen were wearing that proved so troublesome. If we could somehow use the Darkfire cinders and the Flowlight stones to produce ammunition that could pierce through their protection, we could blast their magic armor right off and render them all about defenseless before they even know what's hit them. Even the resourceful one, aren't you, Lenko? Fine. You can take responsibility when Valenerel comes for our heads. Haha. When our plan wins us a rousing victory at Karugo Narugo, he is more likely to award us medals of honor. Alright, first to convince that stern-looking gentleman over there of the righteousness of our cause. Okay. Dann müssen wir mal noch mit diesem Typen sprechen. Der hier irgendwo in der Nähe stehen muss. H9. Ach, da ist es auf der anderen Seite. Hobile irgendwas heißt der. Da ist er. Hobilleriot. Alright, I'm counting on you, Alvib. A few artful words and the Darkfire cinders and floatling stones will be yours. Ours. A moment of your time, good sir. Yes, I'm a busy man. State your business, then be gone with you. State your... Oh, 'twill only be a second. I couldn't help but notice the Darkfire cinders and flowlight stones you were carrying just before. Yes, what of them? They are reserve armaments that we were transporting to our secret cache. Can't very well leave such dangerous materials lying about the street after all. Oh, but certainly I can see that you are most prudent in your duties. But this cache you speak of, might I inquire as to its whereabouts? Why, thank you, my kind sir. I almost certainly endeavor to be. As for the stockpile we recently relocated to... Wait a minute. I have not seen your faces before. Are you truly soldiers of the Allied forces? State your affiliation. Ah, the Mithra mercenaries. I see. And just what sort of outfit might that be? I slay our foes. I cut down enemies with our sword. Is that so? And you say that you serve the Allied force of Altana? Our lives for the goddess. I ask you, how do you suppose this war will end? The island of Israel will prevail. The Allied forces will prevail. Indeed. And what do you feel holds the key to this conflict? Robel Aquel's true identity, Shadowlord's visitors from, ich sag mal, Shadowlord's true identity. Incidentally, why is that you seek the Darkfire cinders and Foulite stones? To save the world. Very well then. I can see that you are loyal servants of Altana. Forgive me for having doubted you. One can never be too careful these days. The supplies have been moved to Laval in preparation for any regional skirmish that may arise. You are welcome to whatever you deem necessary for your cause. Okay. Achso. Oh, and I'd be remiss not to tell you that they've been well hidden, buried actually. It wouldn't do to have them discovered by Beastman Curse after all. Many thanks, loyal soldier. May the goddess be with you. Well, Albert, it looks like we're making a detour to Laval. I shall return to the fort and ready our defenses. Yes, by all means. Let us make haste, Albert. We mustn't be late for the party. Okay. Je nachdem, welche Antwort man jetzt hier in der Cutscene gab, wird man an einen anderen Ort geschickt. Und Laval ist halt jetzt das, wo ich hin muss. Dann schauen wir nach Laval.